You have 1 hour to break out. If you're really smart, you can get out in less time than that. About 60% of our escapees actually get out of the room.
Really?
The other 40% don't make it out. Whether they were drunk or hungover or just maybe not all that smart. Some of the people that call in and they ask a bunch of questions that are on the website, I'm like, you're not going to do all that well in an escape room, fella. But it's an hour. We ask you to get here 15 minutes before. We have a free arcade that you can play. Lots of fun games and experiences. Make sure you use the restroom before you go in so you don't have to leave if you don't want to. And then you can stay for as long as you want after the experience as well.
We have got a sneak peek for you at the Lake Escape, which has moved locations. Yeah. I've got Drew Buesen here. Thanks for joining me, buddy.
What's up, Jeff?
So you were originally on the Strip?
Yeah, man, we've been on the Strip for 7 years. It's been really good for us. But we've been renting over there, and the opportunity to come over here and own here in Osage Beach, right across from Andy's Frozen Custard. You got the Oasis going in. We just thought it was a prime location, so we tried to strike when the iron is hot. And we moved in on January 23rd and been working tirelessly for 3 months to try to get this thing up and running by summer.
Awesome, awesome. And we are going to give you a sneak peek because it's not quite ready yet.
It's getting there.
And all of the rooms won't be ready till midsummer, but
right.
Several of the rooms will be ready almost like next week.
Yeah. Hopefully next Friday, May 3rd, is when we're going to open 2 of our rooms, Blue Cat Cabin and Lakeview Heist. So we're really excited about them. They are the same rooms that we had over there, but we have updated them. So if you've tried them before, if you want to still come in and try the new ones, we did change some of the puzzles so you can come in and try a new experience.
Awesome. Let's go inside and tell them more about it.
Let's do it.
We are sitting here in the Blue Cat room, one of 5 rooms that you're creating here. As you mentioned, it was at the previous place. I got a backstage pass here.
Yeah.
You showed me how some of this stuff works, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been to one escape room in my life. It's not like this. This is incredible. So walk me, let's digress for a second, and I wanna hear kind of the story about this place. What was the idea? What was the idea behind opening up an escape room at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Sure. 7, 8 years ago, we were all in my living room, and my brother and I are the owners here, and we were playing a video game or we were playing a board game, and we may or may not have been drinking heavily. And we said we should open up an escape room. I did a couple in Toronto. My wife is from Canada, very popular in Canada. Not lots to do at the Lake of the Ozarks 8 years ago other than go out and boat and go to your, that was even before some of these awesome lake bars came up. We had lake bars, but not like Dog Days or Backwaters or the swim up bars. So we're like, what can we do that's family friendly? So we ended up going to the bank, we got a loan, we opened it, and we knew nothing about escape rooms at the time. So fast forward 8 years later, we went to conferences and trained, and we've met some really incredible and talented people on programming. So the rooms that we have now are completely different from 7, 8 years ago, where it was more lock and key compared to electromagnetic lock or magic, if you will, in the escape room. Yeah. So you do something on one side of the room and something opens on the other side. So
yeah. I can't tell you anything because you have to come here and experience it for yourself.
Don't spill the beans.
I will not do that. I will not do that. So you opened up on the Strip, and then, as you mentioned outside, you decided to move here just because of the size, because of the location, because of owning the building, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, the Strip is great. There's a lot of really good events that close down traffic over there, which is really great for some of the businesses. But for us, whenever it's transient, usually our guests are only here for an hour and a half max. It really hurt having the Strip closed down. So we were a great fit for that area because it comes in from the internet and they're pre-bookings typically online, especially during the summer. We didn't feel like moving to our own building that we own. Bigger building, bigger rooms, where we can create it from scratch and really plan long term was going to hurt us at all. So we're really excited about the building. We're excited about the rooms, remaking the rooms the way that we really wanted to, and really sparing no expense to make sure that our guests get a really dynamite experience.
I can vouch for that. So I mentioned you're going to have, so like walk us through what an experience is like. So first of all, let me preface this by saying, and as you know on this channel, we talk a lot about the things to do off the lake.
Yeah.
You know, everybody just assumes I'm going to come to the lake, I'm going to get out on the lake, but this area is growing exponentially, as you know. It's a popular tourist destination. You don't just have to have a boat because there's a ton to do. And, oh, by the way, it's not just 3 months. Like, this is a 12-month. Like, it's not like it just shuts down for the rest of the year.
We've never actually even shut down in the winter. We've always stayed open because we hate that stigma as locals. Oh, we're only transit during the summer. I mean, unless you're a pool bar, you shouldn't close down. We feel like there's enough traffic coming in from some of the cities and even local homeowners, especially since 2020. We've had a ton of people move here, and we've seen business grow pretty heavily since then. So we have some really great other experiences, like you said, besides being on the water. You have multi-monkey, you have some of the race, some of the go-karts in town, but there's nothing like an escape room or anything close to us at all. So we try to make it so it's a lot of fun for not only grandma and grandpa, but the kids too.
Yeah. So there is no other escape room at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Nope, we are it.
So you mentioned you're open 12 months out of the year. What are your hours of operation?
So we're open 11 to 11 on Saturday. That's really our busy day. We're open 5-6 hours on Sunday. We're open during the week for reservation only. So typically in between 4 and 9 o'clock, Monday through Thursday we're open, but we do require those online reservations to make sure that we have staffing here for you. It helps keep our payroll down to make sure that we can stay in business and really explore some really new options as far as rooms goes. So if you do want to do it during the week, we do recommend booking online at lakeescapeloz.com. Just to make sure you ensure your time and the room that you want.
Sure, yeah. Let's talk about escape rooms in general. So I don't want to assume that everybody watching this has ever been to an escape room. Some of you have. We'll get into some details on that. But if you've never been to an escape room, what does that even mean?
So a lot of people are terrified, or they say they're claustrophobic, or they've seen the Escape Room Master of Champions movie where it's more of a horror movie. Our rooms aren't scary. We don't physically lock you in the room. From this video angle, you're only seeing about a third of this room, and there's multiple rooms inside of the Blue Cat Cabin experience. So if you can go into a bedroom and not be claustrophobic, you can come in and do an escape room. These are typically no smaller than your standard master suite in your lake house. So it's not scary. You can walk out anytime you want. If you have to use the bathroom, you can always leave and then come back in, so they're not scary. Some of the older demographic, or the slightly seasoned demographic that comes in, they have no idea what to expect, and they always leave really excited, like they had a really good time, not what they were thinking completely.
So as we talk about that, so the rooms, they're not small. This is actually a very big room. I'd say about 20 feet maybe?
It's 23 feet.
By maybe 12?
12, 15 feet on this side, and this is just one of the rooms.
That's just one of the rooms because there's multiple doors that are going to take you into other rooms. Yep. All right, so what is the time commitment that somebody makes when they come to an escape room?
So it's an hour inside the room. You have 1 hour to break out. If you're really smart, you can get out in less time than that. About 60% of our escapees actually get out of the room. The other 40% don't make it out. Whether they were drunk or hungover or just maybe not all that smart. Some of the people that call in and they ask a bunch of questions that are on the website, I'm like, you're not going to do all that well in an escape room, fella. But it's an hour. We ask that you get here 15 minutes before. We have a free arcade that you can play. Lots of fun games and experiences. Make sure you use the restroom before you go in, so you don't have to leave if you don't want to. And then you can stay for as long as you want after the experience as well.
So let's talk about how that works. Now, we come as a group. How many people per room?
Sure. Minimum is 2. escape rooms aren't all that fun with one person. You could do that at home. Just lock yourself in your bedroom if you want to. And we have up to 10 people, and that's per fire code. We don't want to have more than 10 in a room. And plus, you get more people in there, it's really hard to do communication. The more people you have, the harder it is to communicate where everybody's on the same page. So really, our sweet spot is in between 4 and 6, but we can have up to 10. So 2 to 10.
Awesome, perfect. And then you get into the room, and you guys have like this control room, like a media room. I don't know what you want to call it, but
we call it our HQ.
Your HQ, okay. So, and somebody is watching, so that. Like, what's the purpose?
Sure.
Because there's like communication going on. And
so in an escape room, you don't have a table of contents. You don't have a set of rules.
Can't bring your cell phone in?
Can't bring your cell phone in. So there's not any instructions on how to solve the room. You have to use clues, puzzles, and logic and teamwork to figure out what you see and how to actually use some of the props that you see. In case you need help, we have TVs in each room. So every single room that you go into within your experience will have the same time, counting down from 60 minutes. Also, it has 3 clue buttons on there, so as you ask for clues, you can hold up the sign to the camera, we send you a clue, helps you progress the ball.
Yeah. Okay, and so can you give an example? So if somebody, they start in the blue cat, right?
Yep.
What is an example maybe, or you can maybe even give it, like when you walk in, is there like a clue? Is there a question that they're at? What happens?
Usually the first thing that you need to do is an exploratory phase. So you're going to look around the room, see what you have. Maybe you want to grab a couple of the locks or see what puzzles you need to actually solve. So, I have a 4-digit lock. It's 4 numbers. I need something that has 4 numbers and that can correlate to a 4-number code. Same thing if you have a 5-letter lock, you need to look around and see what kind of letters are throughout the room. Maybe look at some of the walls, look at some of the paintings, look under things. You never know where you're going to find that next clue.
So basically the clues or the way to escape, to unlock the lock is hidden somewhere in the room.
Correct.
Fascinating. All right. So let's talk about, I think that explains how this works. I really think you have to leave it to imagination. You have to come experience this. And just what little you showed me today in Blue Cat, which is I would call it room number 1. Blue Cat, if anybody is watching this, you've all watched the show Ozark on Netflix. That's exactly what this is modeled after, so this is cool as hell. So I mentioned you're gonna have 5 rooms. This one is Blue Cat. Walk me through the other 5.
So, like you said, this one's Blue Cat. It's our fishing cabin. It has some homage to the show Ozark with Bateman in there. Got to meet him whenever he came down. He was busy and he didn't want to talk to me too much, but I got that photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Next one that we're going to open is our Lakeview Museum or Lakeview Heist. It's a museum style game where you have to break in and you want to steal a piece of art. And if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, it's actually the Mayan fertility idol at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, where Harrison Ford has the bag of sand and he switches it out. That's the thing you got to.
It's incredible.
3D printing is awesome.
It's really cool.
We 3D print it, and then you can throw a bunch of concrete in it, so it feels.
And it was heavy.
It was heavy. Don't drop it on your toe. Next one we're going to open is a very popular room that we opened up last year. Both Blue Cat and Curse of the Pharaoh's Passage are brand new as of last year. Dumped a lot of money into them at the old location, then found out we're moving. So. Room's so nice, you got to do it twice. So that's going to be the Curse of the Pharaoh's Passage, and my 10-year-old daughter named that room. So it's one of our favorites. So we're going to have 3 of those open by May 14th, and then hopefully by July 4th, we're going to have our final 2 open. It's our oldest room, but it's a favorite. It's very popular, even though it's old, as Dr. Lakenstein's laboratory.
Dr. Lakenstein.
Dr. Lakenstein, playing off that lake theme, and it's our mad scientist room. And then last but not least is coming in. It's a little bit of a more scary. It's not scary, but it's just kind of a little bit for the older kids. It's Midnight on the Bayou. It's a voodoo themed room.
Ooh, all right. And so it's going to be by May 14th. Let's repeat that again. It's going to be Blue Cat.
Blue Cat. We're going to have Lakeview Heist and Curse of the Pharaoh's Passage.
Okay, and then by July, or hopefully by July 4th, the other 2.
Keep them crossed.
Yeah, we'll keep those fingers crossed. You do too, because we're going to come back and we're going to do a follow-up video when it's all done and walk you through these rooms, but not tell you how to get in and out of them, but just give you a better look at it.
Yep.
All right, so you mentioned it's for all ages. I mean, what is the youngest age that you would typically bring?
So 7 and under are 100% free. They're just, a lot of the puzzles, the clues, the logic, it's just not there with a 7-year-old, and that's no offense to them. I have a couple of them at home. Anybody 8 or over is the same price. So it's just one entry fee. There's not kid or adult ticket pricing. So 7 and under are free, 8 and up, it's the same price whether you're 99 or 8.
Do you want to mention those prices?
Sure. There's 4 different tiers. The more people you have, the more money you save. So if you have 10 people, it's $29.99 per person. That's our group rate.
Awesome.
It goes all the way down through the tiers to if you just have 2 people, it's $39.99 per person.
God, that's not expensive at all. You're here for probably what? At least an hour and a half?
Yeah, hour and a half. And
assuming you don't get out in 30 minutes.
Hopefully you don't get out. If you do get out in 30 minutes, then you're smarter than I am. So.
Then that brings up the question, you mentioned 40% don't get out, which I have to admit, the one time I've been to an escape room, we did not get out, so we are we are in that in that camp. And we were drinking that night, so maybe that contributed. Now, what is the fastest anybody's gotten out of one of your rooms?
So typically it's 35 to 40 minutes is going to be first place. That's a hard question, Jeff, because you have people come in, they've done the room before.
That's not fair. That doesn't count.
And they'll skip a couple steps. So we have a few people on the leaderboard that may be skewed, or like a Barry Bonds scenario has a little asterisk.
Sure, yep,
like you got out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean that would beg the question, why would you even? I mean, just because you want to.
If you want to come in and pay twice,
right? Yeah.
It makes no difference.
So that's another question, just not knowing the answer to this, is that, okay, there's 5 different rooms. So somebody comes here, they have a blast, they beat the room. Odds are you may not want to come back and do that room again because you've already done it, unless you're bringing different friends with you maybe, right? But obviously you could do the 5 different rooms, but how many repeat customers do you have?
That's a funny question to ask. About a year or 2 ago, we had a fella, I think he was out there on Bumble or Tinder or something, and he's getting these dates, and he was bringing them in, and they were doing the same room, or he was doing the same room each time, and I think that's just so he could look like he was smarter.
Okay, all right.
You might
be giving your single brother some ideas here.
That's a great point, Jeff. I think that's hilarious.
Some dates here and show how smart
Look how smart I am. I can get out of this room in minutes.
That's great. That's great. All right, so give me the address again.
Yeah, it's 4821 Osage Beach Parkway. It is right across the street from Andy's Frozen Custard, and I know everybody knows where that's at. It's next to my favorite Mexican restaurant here in town, Sergio's. It's right down the street from my favorite pizza joint, Papo's, and then my cafeteria, my lunchtime cafeteria, Wobbly Boots, right up the street.
I thought you were going to say Panera or something like that.
No, that's breakfast.
Okay, gotcha.
That's breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and so if somebody is watching this today and they're excited to do this, where do they go book a time?
LakeEscapeLoz.com. So LakeEscapeLarryOscarZulu.com. All of our bookings are primarily handled online. If you have any special needs or requests, go ahead and call us at 573-693-9998, and we'll be able to assess those special needs. We do have 2 rooms that have stairs, so it might not be for people that can't do stairs, or a handicap. So we want to make sure that we accommodate to everybody. So if you have any special needs, just give us a call. And
but 2 of the rooms are on ground floor.
3, yeah, 3
are on ground floor.
3 of the 5 are on the lower level, including the ADA bathroom and our arcade room.
Do you ever turn anybody away? Like the last couple questions I have would be that, you get off the lake, or maybe it starts raining on a Saturday afternoon, and a group of 10 people come in and they're just wasted.
They're smashed. Typically, we'll not let them come in and do the rooms. These rooms are extremely expensive to build. Yeah. They're extremely time-consuming to keep up, even with just normal wear and tear, let alone having a group of smashed bachelorette or bachelor parties coming in and messing with my stuff. Don't break my rooms.
Yeah. That would be ignorant.
Also, you have to, if they come in at 4 o'clock and they break the room and we can't fix it that day, there's thousands of dollars of lost revenue going out the back door because of that negligence on our part by letting them come in the room. So we recommend going and getting smashed after your experience.
Makes sense. Or just not getting smashed at all.
I mean,
I would hope 1 out of the 10 was the driver.
We're right next door to Codes. You could go and get your weed and come over and try it.
Good, fair.
Codes, Lake Escape.
And then when you're hungry, you can go over and get some ice cream.
That's right.
There you go.
Or tacos.
I like
and
it.
give me some of that al pastor all day.
So we talked about that it's going to be hopefully by the midsummer when we're fully open, but then Evan and I were talking about some future
Yeah, we have some big
ideas.
plans
What's
in the back.
going on there?
We would love to open up a bigger experience. If you've been to Westport Social or the Armory in St. Louis, there's a couple spots in Kansas City. Even the main event has came in, and they combined bowling with shuffleboard and arcade, and we'd love to bring that to the lake. So we'd love to have some sort of outdoor patio beer garden experience that would have Pop-A-Shot and maybe some pickleball and axe throwing and a bunch of different team events. We have a ton of those big resorts and hotels in the area that we just feel it'd be great for corporate events, team building, and shoot with Ballparks National. There, we don't have any batting cages. It'd be really cool to have a couple of those for families and even baseball and softball teams coming into the area.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, so we're gonna have to just stay tuned of when this completely opens up, all 5 rooms. But again, when this video airs, basically it might already be open.
Yep,
The
that'd be
several
great.
rooms might already be open, and we can go online. Give us the website one more time.
LakeEscapeLoz.com.
Awesome, and the phone number again?
It's 693-9998 with a 573 on the front. 573.
I was going to say, I felt like you were missing a number there,
Yeah,
2 or 3.
573 all day.
Awesome.
573-693-9998.
This is, I'm excited for this, man. I'm excited to come back out here and do this and try to get out of these rooms and at least redeem myself
Yeah,
for
man.
the time I didn't make it the last
Jeff,
time.
I appreciate you coming by and taking a sneak peek on the thing.
Absolutely, and I hope there's a lot of people that watch this and realize, shit, there's more stuff to do here. There's more reason to come to the lake without necessarily just being on a boat.
That's right. Bring the boat, bring the family, but come and escape at Lake Escape next time you're down, for sure.
Brother.
Jeff, thanks, dude.